Hot 97, we got a legend in the building. I'm talking about hits on hits on hits. Beyonce, Rihanna, Lizzo, Adam Levine.
Yo.
Who else? Usher. So many people.
Yes.
I am so happy to be sitting with the songwriting, producing legend, Theron Thomas, all the way from St. Thomas. How you feeling?
I feel amazing. I feel blessed. How about yourself?
I feel really good because
That's
of the
good.
energy that you're exuding.
Yeah.
It is electric.
I love that. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Yes. See, you getting real songwriter-ish on me really early.
Nah, I love it.
Yeah, and I know that you've done so much throughout your journey and your career in music that's still going, of course. But I got to take it back to the beginning because you're from St. Thomas.
Yes.
When did you cross over to the U.S. to even do this? Or what was your life looking like in St. Thomas?
So grew up in St. Thomas with my mom, my dad, and my brother. You know, we lived in a project in St. Thomas called Housing, but the politically correct name is Oswald Harris Court.
Got it.
So we grew up there. Me and my brother always did music. I've been doing music since I was 9. Me and my brother was a hip-hop group, 8 and 9 years old. Our name started out as Short Circuit. We changed our name to Two Equip. Then we went to Rock City, and then we became Our City.
Right. So did you come from a musical family? Is your mom and father?
No, me and my brother
that?
are the only people in the history of my entire family on both my mom and dad's side that has ever tried to hum a tune.
Yeah? And were they surprised when they heard you get into it?
They were super surprised because what happened is hip-hop was a big influence in our house. Our parents used to go to parties and, you know, and all that. And my dad would have the vinyls and the records and playing them in the house. And, like, we would watch MTV Rap and all these hip-hop shows, right?
Yeah.
And so back in the 80s, 90s, people used to dance. You know, all the rappers,
It's coming back now, too.
I believe that. So me and my brother started out as backup dancers for a local hip-hop group, a female hip-hop group called Roxanne and Cody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And those two girls was rapping, and me and my brother would do backup dancing, and then Criss Cross came out. You know, that's why I always tell people Jermaine Dupri is the reason why I started to do music, because Criss Cross came out, and I just remember being in my parents' room screaming to the top of my lungs, "Mommy, Daddy, and everybody thought something was wrong with me, so everybody runs in the room, my brother, my mother, everybody like that, and I was like, I want to do that. And so, you know.
What did they say after you did all that?
They was like,
I would have given you a little spanking.
But no, my mom, I used to get my behind whoop a lot. You know, we have parents, but my mother was like, boy, you're scared of life out to your mother, boy. Don't do that to your mother, boy. And no, my dad was fully for it. My dad, number one thing was he just was like, whatever my kids are into, I'm going to nourish that. I'm going to help them grow with that. And
that's beautiful.
make sure that they use that to get out of the projects. That's his whole thing was like, my sons are not going to die in these projects. They're going to get out. They're going to get out. So, you know, he kept his word. My dad was incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then what? You came here looking for a dream? Yeah, and what city did you go to first?
Well, we became the biggest group there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And graduated out of high school in 2000. Okay. And moved to Miami.
Miami first.
Well, we moved to Miami because that's the cheapest plane ticket.
Right.
You know, you got to understand, we was extremely poor. So my high school sweetheart at the time is who bought my plane ticket, which was just a buddy pass because she had a job.
Right.
And so she was like, okay, you want to, you know, she bought the ticket and my brother got a ticket and we moved to Miami. When we went to Miami, we was trying to stay with our cousin because we had a cousin that lived there. She still lives there. She's the closest thing I have to a sister.
Oh, wow.
My cousin Oshana, she lived in Miami. Well, she was like, yo, I would love for y'all to stay with me, but I got roommates, but my boyfriend, maybe we could see if y'all could stay with him. Well, her boyfriend had like 4 roommates, but he was like, they loved us from St. Thomas because we was big as a rap group.
Yeah.
And they was like, yo, you could stay with us, but we had to sleep in his dining room on the floor, like on a blanket. But it was like, hey, whatever. We stayed there for 10 months in Miami, and we just was like, yo, nothing ain't working out. We need to move. We need to move to New York. All the record labels are in New York. If we we don't know nothing. We're like, yo, if we stay downstairs and perform, somebody just come sign us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kids from St. Thomas. We do not know how nothing works.
And that's almost a blessing in disguise because you're not thinking about setbacks. You're just like, I'm going to go down the street and I'm going to run into so-and-so and it's going to happen.
Bro, if somebody sees us, we getting a record deal and we going to blow up.
Yeah.
Man. So, or we're like, yo, maybe we can move to Atlanta because at that time, my girlfriend was living there and I was like, at least we know somebody there. Maybe we could build up and we know people in the music business in Atlanta. We could get studio time.
Right.
So me and my brother is having this conversation, and while we're having this conversation, this phone rings. I'm a big sign person.
Yeah.
The phone rings. It's a local promoter from St. Thomas. He's one of my dad's best friends. His name is Derek Perella. Everybody calls him Perella. Perella is like, yo, Theron and to me, I come Atlanta to open up for Jam Band. Jam Band is a band from St. Thomas that's big. He was like, I'm gonna pay y'all $250, put y'all in a hotel. Yo, we broke. We don't know where to go. He called us, said we could come to Atlanta. He said he gonna give us a night in a hotel in $250. We flew to Atlanta. We never left. We've been in Atlanta since 2001.
Damn. Oh my God. All right. So boom, that happens.
Yes.
Now you're introduced to Akon.
Oh man, we're introduced to
How?
Okay, we're introduced to Akon because we're in Atlanta, doing our rounds, trying to get a manager, trying to meet people, trying to do all of this. And it's this dude named Josh Spice.
Okay.
That used to work with Con. Con didn't have a record deal, nothing. Con was with Divine, and they used to be at this performance hall. And Josh Spice was like, yo, I want y'all to meet this dude named Akon. He's super talented. Y'all should work with him.
Right.
So we go meet Akon. We like, yo, we rocking with each other. We feeling the vibe. And Akon gets a deal. So Akon is like, yo, I'm looking for a DJ. At that time, my DJ is still my best friend to this day. His name is Benny D. He's been Akon DJ for like 16 years.
Right. Akon wasn't as big then?
Akon was nobody. We was both nobodies saying we want to make it in the music business. Akon was like, we went to Benny like, yo, you need to go be Akon's DJ. He's like, nah, bro, I'm y'all's DJ. Bruh, if Akon blow up, you can come back and get us.
Right. What made you think that he would have blew up, though, for you to say that?
Ignorance.
Okay.
We didn't know better. We just, bro, where I come from, if you're on TV, you're famous.
Yeah.
You're not a one-hit wonder or you didn't make it. You're on television, bro. You're bigger than me.
Yeah.
St. Thomas is 32 square miles.
Right.
So literally, what is it? My old house from when I landed in Atlanta, my old house was about, I want to say like 37 to 41 miles.
Okay.
So if I drove from the airport to my old house.
That's St. Thomas.
I drove past St. Thomas.
Yeah.
We was out of my island. So that's how big it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So anyway, he goes and he becomes Akon's DJ. Akon blows up, first album, whatnot. We're in Atlanta trying to figure it out, And I wrote this song in the 7th grade. At the end of the 7th grade, going into the 8th grade, because we had a hurricane called Marilyn that came and tore up the island. Well, in the hood, the windows are made out of like a metal. Mm-hmm. So when rocks and, big thing, because it's a hurricane, hit the window, it would make this big ping, ping, scare the heck out of me. I'm a kid,
Right.
And I wrote this song, what's got me insane, oh, is I can't stand the rain, and it's hitting my window pane a little too much. And I wrote this song when I'm a little kid. I'm like, I gotta be 12, 13 years old.
Right.
Put it out on an independent album with me and my brother. Fast forward to Akon working on his second album. Benny comes and we're redoing it with singing verses, because the first version, we sung the hook and we rapped the verses.
Yeah.
He plays me Akon's music, and me being young and I guess arrogant, being like, yo, I got a better song than that. Mm-mm. He's like, oh, word? What? I played it for him. He's like, oh, The Ren.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, let me play this for Akon. Me and my brother we didn't know songwriting was a job.
Right.
We're artists, bro. I didn't know people wrote songs for other people. We wrote our own songs, so I didn't know other people wrote songs for people.
Yeah.
Akon hears the song. Akon likes the song. Mm-hmm. Akon is like, yo, I want to use the song, but I want 15% of the publishing. We don't know what that means.
Right.
Our manager at the time, who's still my manager now, his name is Ray Daniels, he says, we'll give you 15%, but you're going to have to give us $5,000.
Right.
Listen, I work at Party City. I'm flat broke. Child support is $179. This is my daughter, my first kid, and I can't afford to pay it. So I'm just like, people pay $5,000 for songs?
Music? Yeah.
Bro, I got a backpack full of songs. By the way, I still have the backpack. It's just full of papers. I was like, yo, my nigga, you could have all these songs if you give me $5,000. Like, I at this point in time, I said to myself, my daughter's 3 now when this is happening. I said, by the time my daughter is 5, I don't want her to understand what being broke means.
Yeah.
Because I've been poor my whole life. Akon pays us $5,000. Everybody knows Akon produced, wrote everything. So the word started to get around, and everybody was like, "Oh, y'all wrote a song for Akon? Y'all write songs?
Mm-hmm.
We do whatever we need to do if y'all gonna pay us $5,000."
Right.
But you got to think, songwriters don't get paid upfront money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we only got paid upfront because we didn't know songwriters didn't get paid.
Right.
So when my manager asked for the money, Akon was like, he was taken aback, but it was like, "Hey, bruh, if you want this song, you're going to give us $5,000. So then when people call us for songs, we would charge them. And then we found out, yo, bro, songwriters don't do that.
Right.
Hey, bro, we got bills. I got a kid. You want this song?
You want both.
And
the money
what?
and the publishing credit.
Yeah. What did Denzel Washington say on I'm leaving with something?
Yeah.
We leaving with something, baby.
Right.
So we made sure we was leaving with something. And from there, we kind of this songwriting thing opened. Akon ended up signing us an artist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We put out a single called Losing It, like early 2007 or something like that. I'm terrible with years. And so we put the record out. We're on Interscope. It doesn't do that well. We end up being on Interscope for like 4 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know the artist story.
Yeah.
And then getting off. But during the time, bro, we're just
still penning for other artists.
Oh my God, you know what I mean? We're just writing songs, and me and my brothers going crazy. Not. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We didn't know we can write the songs that we wrote for other people until
you were in the studio.
Until we started writing the songs for other people. We just wrote songs for ourselves. But okay, in America, I tell everybody this. In America, y'all have segregated radio.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to ask you that too, because how do you go from The Rain to when I grow up, I want to be famous? Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah, we don't have segregated radio.
Right.
So in St. Thomas, okay, the Pussycat Dolls and Akon and Bob Marley and Barris Hammond and Beanie Man and Jam Band and Rock City
on one station,
play on the same radio station. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a super huge country song that there's still the one Shania Twain, you're still the one I run to. Yeah, I remember hearing that on the radio in St. Thomas, and then hearing Nelly on it was so when we came to the States, it was like, it's just music, bro.
Right.
Like, so everything that we was influenced by, we was just putting songs. So you might hear a song. I remember working with Gwen Stefani, and she was like, "Ooh, I love those R&B melodies," and I was like, "That's what they are?
Right.
Okay,
whatever you say, sis.
I don't know. It just sounds good to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
wow, so that explains the range.
Yes.
Because when I go through your catalog, I'm like, how? All these different pop selections, and then you have R&B, and then just the range and the artists that you're working with. Even up until now, though, it all makes sense when you're working with somebody like Doja Cat, who does it all, right?
She's one of the best.
Yeah. And then someone like Lizzo.
One of the best.
I see that the relationships that you do have with the artists that you work with seem so pure and so trusting. Mm-hmm. How do you kind of build that? What is the process like when it comes to writing with, different people? Are you all in the studio together? Do they play the beat and you're just like...
It depends on the artist. I've written some songs where I wrote it by myself or wrote it with some friends and we send it off, or I'm in the room. Like people like Doja Cat and Lizzo, you can't send them songs.
Right.
That's a very difficult thing. Like they're extremely, how to put this, self-contained, very talented women that could do almost everything on their own. So, I like, and they can attest to this if you talk to them. I always tell them, like, y'all don't need me. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for inviting me in the room.
Right.
Because they're incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Okay. Now, when it comes to figuring out, who gets what when it comes to writing, because I feel like there's so many songwriters and so many people who, put in for a record, right? Mm-hmm. Is there a certain criteria or like an amount of lines that you need to incorporate in order to get publishing? No. Because if I just add one word, am I a songwriter in the session too?
Some people fight for those one words. Some people fight for those one lines. And,
really?
Because at the end of the day, the public doesn't know who did what. I mean, you could, somebody can literally write one line or change a couple lines on a song that already existed and come out and say, hey, man, I wrote this song, and they probably own 2% of the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, you wasn't there or you don't know. You just know, hey, their name is in the credits, so obviously, you know what I'm saying? I've written hits on my own. I've collaborated a lot. I always say I collaborate, but I do it like this. If I have a hit record on the radio with you,
okay,
and with him, and with him, and with 3 people behind me,
right,
all of y'all have 1 hit each.
Everybody
have 6.
has it, right? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and to anybody that knows me, I always say I'm the Chick-fil-A of the music business. I know I'm in the service business. I'm here to serve, and I'm here to bring something to the table. I don't come in the room trying to take nothing from nobody. I come in here trying to serve and give. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's what sets you apart from a lot?
I definitely believe that because, a lot of the times in music, a lot of people's ego get in front of them. I always tell people a lot of times people think that people are showing up for them.
Right.
And, it's all about the music. I always say the music business don't need you. You need the music business. I remember complaining one day. I called my manager, Ray. I love him. He's given me so much advice and helped me along the way like so many other people. But this one time I called him frustrated, as everybody has.
What were you mad about? Frustrated.
I just felt like I wasn't getting the respect that I deserved in the music business. I felt like I was writing hits and people didn't treat me like a person that wrote hits,
right.
And I called him like, these going crazy. And he didn't say anything. He listened to me, he heard me, and then I finished and he said, are you done? He said, okay, I want you to do me a favor. I was like, okay. He said, turn the radio on. And I turned the radio on. He said, what song is playing? I with Gucci, I with Pelly at the same thing. I was like, he's like, is that a hit? I said, yeah. Did you write it? No. He said, exactly. Shut up. The music business don't need you. You need the music business.
Damn.
And I was like, okay.
You right.
and that's one of the, and then I stopped complaining from there. I was like, and then as a songwriter, sometimes I used to fight with wanting credit because I was an artist first. So as an artist, you want to be in the spotlight. You want to be famous. And I was in bed with my wife one time being upset because I was like, yo, bro. And she was like, let me ask you a question. Do you want to be an artist or a songwriter? Because the last time I checked, a songwriter is somebody that's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be behind, don't worry about if they give you the credit or not. The people that write the checks know who you are. That's why they keep writing you checks. And I was like...
And let's not be mistaken. The songwriters get a nice lump sum. Is that true or is that a myth?
Let me
Because you got how many chains on?
It ain't even the chains. I just want to let y'all know something. Ain't nobody at the Thomas house missing no meals, baby.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I need to get on that side.
Ain't nobody at the Thomas house missing no meals. You know what I'm saying? I'm extremely blessed and extremely grateful, and I ain't gonna lie. I used to say a prayer to God before I made it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be an artist. I used to be like, yo, I'm gonna be as big as Michael Jackson. I was young and I was hungry, and then I started to pray and I said, yo, God, I want to be famous, but that might not be your plan for me. All I'm gonna ask you is that I can wake up every day and make music for the rest of my life and make money from it. If you do that for me, I'm not gonna complain.
Amen. He delivered.
He delivered. He delivered. I get up every day. You know what I'm saying? A regular day for me is I'm going to wake up, probably have a smoothie or make a juice or do something like that.
The chef from St. Thomas.
Oh, man, I can't cook. That's why I specifically said juice and smoothies, And I'm going to go to the studio and I'm going to just write songs all day. It was one point, like I told somebody, I used to write 7 songs a day every day for a year. I mean, 365 days. I went to the studio, I wrote I wrote more, but I never wrote less than 7 songs a day.
Full songs?
No, full songs. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing about me is like, I don't write anything down. And everybody thinks, Jay-Z don't write and Lil Wayne don't write. And they're freestylers and they're amazing. See, the thing about me, what I tell people is like, I don't not write stuff down because I'm trying to freestyle or I'm just this genius. I'm the worst speller in the world. No, in the world. I can't spell that well, and it's an insecurity. I'm being dead serious. It's an insecurity of mine. Like, I'll write and I'll be like, I don't
Did
think
I
that's
do
how you
it
spell that word. So I don't want to write it down and then somebody goes back and be like, this can't spell stupid. So I just don't write nothing down. I just freestyle every song that I do. So nobody don't
Wow.
have to read my writing.
Okay. Where do you get some of your inspiration from though? Because we were talking earlier before the cameras cut on just about like, little things that you pick from other people that, they say that you turn into music at some point. Where do you get most of your inspiration?
Inspiration comes from everyday life. I mean, I'm living, breathing, walking music.
Yeah.
And
whose stories do you be telling? Because you have such a range of content where I'm like, how do you tap into the feminine energy too, where, you're speaking for us, the women?
I can be in any place that I need to be, and that's a gift. You know what I'm saying? I call myself a chameleon because of how I was raised and how the music was given to me. And like I said, I'm a good listener. So, most of the times with these artists, I'm their therapist. And, a lot of the times these artists come to me and they have to trust me. I know where a lot of the bodies are buried because they tell me things that, like, yo, T, and it's like, okay, cool. Let me go home and be able to speak for you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you my story. You might not be in that space.
That also tells me though that you have I don't know if I'm wrong, ladies, you tell me, your wife, I don't know, but it shows me that your relationship with women in general around you is very respectful.
Yes.
And that you understand them in a way that a lot of men do not.
You know what? I don't want to speak for all men and say what they understand and don't understand, but I do know I've been married for 13 years and I ain't never yelled at my wife. We've been in disagreements, but I don't want to use the word argument. An argument is like, yo, never in a 15-year time.
Right.
I just feel like if a man is gonna lead, he leads by example.
Right.
So, if my wife, a black woman from the east side of Atlanta, if she ever gets lit, I just be like, okay, babe, if you need to yell right now, that's what you need to do. But when you're ready to fix the problem, tell me and we can talk.
Right.
So,
I can tell that you listen to women when they speak and that you understand them because of the way that you're able to articulate their feelings for them in your music.
Well, I try.
Right. Because also, men also have a feminine energy within themselves that they have to tap into as far as like emotions in order to understand us. And that's just me speaking, as a...
Well, you know what it is, too? I grew up in a house with a mother and a father, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
And, I saw my dad treat my mom like a queen, and I saw my mom treat my dad like a king. And I, in the midst of being poor, by the way, I grew up in a very poor environment, and...
The love was there.
We didn't have nothing but each other. So I know... I personally know from my experience that love, affection, respect, that's all you really need because I didn't have a bad childhood.
Right.
I can't remember me being miserable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the love was there.
Yeah, because the love was there.
It's so apparent though.
Yes.
Because that is a huge relation into how women communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that depth that you have, I can see why you're able to tap into that for the women artists that you work with. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I agree. I would agree with that.
Now, do any of the artists that you work with, or have they ever been territorial with you and your work where it's like, no, I need Theron only for me. I don't want him working with anyone else.
You know what? I've never been in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
surprised. Man, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I've never really been in no chaotic situation. I think people look at me and kind of like I'm Switzerland. Like I'm the common ground. I come in with positive energy.
Yeah.
It's always love and good vibe. I don't think people see me as being malicious or trying to come in to use them or
They never want to keep you to themselves so that you can only write for them.
I think some people want to keep me to themselves during their project.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there are some people who's like, yo, I'm working on my album right now, and I want you with me for the next 2 months.
Right.
But as far as like, yo, I don't want you to work with these people. I've never been in a position like that. You know what I'm saying? Thank God, because I don't even know if I would know how to handle somebody. I'm not good with people telling me what I can and can't do. That's one thing with me. I'm like,
Same.
Yeah,
right.
I'm like, yeah, Theron, you can't do that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gonna find out today.
Okay, brother.
Right.
We'll see how that works out for you.
Right.
You know, so nah, I never had that problem.
Okay, that's good.
That is great.
Yeah. Why do you think rap artists get more criticism for having songwriters as opposed to R&B artists?
Man, that's a good question, man. I don't want to say I know the answer to that. I really want to say that I believe that rappers put that pressure on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Lean into that. Why?
no, I mean, Run DMC, one of their big hits was Walk This Way, which was a cover of Aerosmith. They didn't write none of those words. And, some of those early hip hop records, those guys didn't write all those words. And then as hip hop became more street influenced and more hood influenced and like from Rakim and all that coming up, it became about the pen and your lyrics and being an MC and then it was blasphemous for someone to write your lyrics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, from a rap standpoint. But the funny part about rap is you may not have helped somebody write their verse, but everybody gets help. That's what's so funny to me. Everybody gets help. Everybody at least gets a chorus or a hook. You know what I'm saying? Pharrell came up with them choruses and Jay-Z said, when the Remy's in the system, but they had help. They had direction. They were produced. They were helped. So, I mean, I don't see the big deal in rappers having people write with them or even for them if somebody got their voice right.
Yeah.
But again, that's just my take on it. You know what I mean? I mean, one of my favorite rappers is Kanye West, and I know Kanye West makes music with like 6, 7, 8, 9 people in the room when he raps. Like as a rapper, the things that he says from College Dropout to Late Registration, those things resonated with me. And then I knew it was a group, but the best music is made in a group.
Exactly.
The people that make the best music is going to usually be at least 5 names in the credits.
Right.
If you're like, oh my God, this is the most amazing music I've ever heard, it's about 5 or more names in the credits.
Yeah. When you see the rap girls fighting on the internet and they going back and forth, and then the thing of, hey, this person wrote for you, or the reference track, I got the reference track. What does that, like, what do you sit and think of when you see that happening? Because if it is such a common thing, is this like no longer a diss that people can use?
I don't think it's a diss at all. And I think, I find it very entertaining. And,
because you're writing for everybody.
I mean,
most people.
I mean, most, and I just think it's not the smartest thing to say. Like, if I'm from males to females.
Yeah.
If you know that there's a demo of a song with another person's voice on it, that could by mistake or by mistake on purpose in this new malicious world that people are in on the internet come out, I think you should come out from the jump and be like, yo, I get help sometimes, because at the end of the day, people come out to hear hit records.
Exactly.
People come out to sing along. Even if you don't have a hit record on the radio, if somebody bought a ticket to come to your concert, like, hey, I paid money to see Tyler, the Creator. He sold out an arena. Those 40,000 people know the words to his songs. Yeah. They came to sing along. So, and again, hit records, majority of the time. You have a handful of people who have made some songs. There's certain people, what we call 100%ers, T-Pain, 100%er, Tyler, the Creator, 100%er, Akon. But even in the 100%, I refuse to believe that there's nobody around and nobody that they've ever been in a room with that's like, let's collaborate and make something together great.
Right. Or influencing some of the work. Yeah.
Everybody, listen.
Everybody needs people. That's how we are great.
Everybody needs people. Everybody needs people. It is, and it's okay. But it's for me. We're in the entertainment business, and I feel like people forget the word entertainment, and people at home start to really just feel like, this is real, bro. As soon as he, when he sees him in public, he's gonna slap him, and then you'd be like, you didn't do anything. It's like, yo, bro, you know, I feel like hip hop is WWF, bro.
I know. WWE now.
Yeah, it's WWE. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, none of that stuff doesn't really bother me. Getting me work,
it's entertaining.
Yeah,
I guess,
I love
for the
it.
masses.
You know, I love it. And I love it because guess what? The more and more it happens, eventually it's just going to come to a point where everybody accept that everybody takes songs, and it makes my job easier.
Right. And too, it opens up a world for other people who can now enter that space too. Like, oh, I can write for this person. I can do this. I can do it. It's more jobs. Hello. People need to know, especially Black people need to know how much opportunity there is without being in front of the camera.
There's so many artists missing out on so much money because they feel like they need to do everything by themselves.
Right.
And if they got the help, it's like, bro, think on yourself. I'm an artist. Think on yourself as Apple. Think of yourself as a corporation. And everybody out there, Apple has a bunch of employees that catapults it to being worth the trillions of dollars that it's worth. It's not just Steve Jobs. It's not, you know, like I said with Matt, it's not just Bill Gates. It's not just one person. It's a gang of people.
Yeah.
So I think people need to stop feeling like, nah, bruh.
I got to do everything myself.
I did it. They need to know it was from my brain. And it's like, yo, bro, listen, to anybody listening right now, if you got some advice or something that could help me, you know, we had 800 Miami Circle in Atlanta. Pull up, baby.
Right.
I want the help.
Yeah. And not even that, just to go back to when you were working with Akon, and I asked you at the time, was Akon this big artist? And you're like, no, he wasn't. But you were networking across. You were not networking up, trying to like, you know, I need to work with the biggest. It was, hey, this guy is also doing what I do. Let's work together. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the worst thing that people could do, try to get to the people above. You know what I mean? Because you got to think the music business is kind of like high school. All the people who are above, they all came up together and they're friends. So they rocking with each other. So you got to build your own friendships because y'all are the next generation and y'all going to rock with each other.
Period.
And I get it, man, because I remember coming up, man, and I wanted nothing more than somebody like Jazzy Faye to just be like, yo, bro, you're good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted Jermaine Dupri to hear one of my songs and be like, whoa, you're good.
Right.
We're not even talking about making money or being placements. I'm talking about the people that you look up to and you admire and you're like, what? That's Jay-Z, bro. That man just told me my song was good.
Right.
That's the kind of things that you want and you sometimes need to keep going because this could be a very thankless, you know, business and a long road. You know what I mean? I've been doing it since I was 9 years old. You know, my first hit was in 2000. I want to say probably was 2007 or something. I want to say my first hit was When I Grow Up by the Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah. And that was after working with Akon.
That was after working with Akon. That was being in the business for years and meeting everybody. But that's the thing.
That was the song that changed your life financially?
No. The songs that changed my life were songs that never came out.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because at that point in time, we didn't know a publishing deal was, we didn't know what that was.
Right.
And at this point, we're getting hot. Labels want to sign us. Lil Jon wanted to sign us. Usher wanted to sign us. And Akon wanted to sign us. And we were writing songs and everybody was knowing us around Atlanta. And our lawyer says to us, yo, bro, I think we can get like 175, 200, like for a pub deal. You dealing with two kids. I moved to the States with $35.
Right.
So, you know, at this point, I'm working at Party City, blowing up balloons and finding costumes for a minimum wage. And you're telling me $250,000 I can make it because I write songs well. I'm like, whoa.
Give me the paperwork.
Yeah.
So I can sign right now.
What? And so at this point in time, everybody's trying to give us pub deals and they trying to sign us. And I never forget this lady from a company called Hitco comes, man, this is the craziest thing. But when Akon offered the $5,000, our manager Ray at the time said, I'll never negotiate against myself. He said, if I didn't say nothing, Akon would have gave us more money. But I threw out the first number I thought of and he was like, oh, okay, cool. Went back, wrote the check. He was like, man, we probably could have got 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I'm never doing that again. So this lady says, man, I want to sign you guys, me, my brother, it's Ray, and I want to take y'all out to dinner. Mm-hmm. And then she says she wants to take us out to dinner. At this time, we're eating off the dollar menu in Atlanta, bro. So when we're eating off the dollar menu in Atlanta, we always wanted to eat at this place called a Sundial in Atlanta. It's a restaurant. It spins in a circle. Mm-hmm. You know, so he's like, cool. We go and we eat with this lady at the Sundial. And she's like, look, man, I really want to sign the guys, but I don't want no big bidding war and da-da-da-da-da. So I just want to tell you what I can offer. And Ray's like, she's like, what do you want? He's like, yo, tell me. Our lawyer's like, if they get to 200, I can get y'all. I might even be able to push a little more. So we're like, okay, 200,000 is the number. Mm-hmm. We're sitting down, and this lady says, okay, cool, I want to do the boys, but I'm just going to jump out the window. $725,000.
Right.
What you just say? So I'm kicking, me and my brother kicking our manager off under the table. I'm teary-eyed. I'm like, bro, we made it.
Yeah.
This woman just said, in my mind, that's rich.
Yeah.
You know, we end up, we left, we talked, we end up meeting with all kind of people. We end up doing our first pub deal for $1.5 million.
Wow. Thinking
that we could only get $200,000. And then in a year, we were flat broke and I owed $468,000 in back taxes. And then I had to, you know, and so you know, bought my parents a house and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to pay their bills. I got a new kid. It's me and my fiance at this time now. So my parents have a house. I'm in an apartment. I'm trying to figure out how to pay these things. Nothing is really coming in, and we're just trying to figure out, okay, how are we gonna get ourselves from back taxes being, and Ray is helping me pay bills until I could pay him back. So all the money that's coming in is just going back to Ray because he's helping me
pay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was a song by the name of Replay that we wrote for Ayez with J.R. Rodham, and that was a song that, you know,
got you back in the game. Helped out a lot.
Woo! Yo, shout out to J.R. Rodham and Zach Katz and everybody over there and Ayez, because y'all don't realize, boy.
Yeah, got you back. Yeah. Who's your favorite artist to work with?
I don't have one. Everybody asks that, but I don't have a favorite artist to work with, man. I pretty much...
who do you feel like you make the best music with?
I would say females. Okay. You know, I think I make the best music with females. Not because I don't make, you know, I've made great, you know, me and Usher did I Don't Mind and so many other
Bad Habits is my song.
We did Bad Habits and so many Music for Love for Mario.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of cool I've done a lot of cool things with males, but the thing with females, they just seem to be more open-minded and more receptive to my ideas when I come in the room. You know, so it's just been easier for me to express myself musically when I work with females.
Are there any artists that you haven't worked with that you're like, I got to get in the booth with?
Jay-Z. That's my favorite artist of all time.
All time.
Listen to me. I don't care what's going on. Jay-Z's the greatest. Okay. So, I mean, and I know Jay-Z writes his own raps, but I'm telling y'all, if Jay-Z's working on an album and I could write a chorus, I don't care if it could be track 17. I just want to be like, I wrote a song with Jay-Z, and that's my bucket list. As of right now, it ain't nobody that I just want to work with. You know, I'm just so confident in myself and what I do. Mm. I really believe that anybody singing, I really believe I could write a hit record for. I really believe that I'm the plug now.
Well, let me tell you this. You wrote for the Queen, Beyonce, so in my book, you done did it all.
Shout out to the Queen, boy.
Theron, you are such a legend in your own light. The energy that you bring to the table, the lyrics that you bring to the booth. Yeah. I am so happy that you were able to come by the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to now look at all the credits to everything I listen to now, so I can be like, oh, Theron wrote that. Okay?
Fire, yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Bless
Please
up.
Come back.
Yes. We got to do this again.
We're going to keep this going.
Bless up.
Amen. Come on.